Hello everyone, this is Edward Young. I'm an IT teacher. So in this video, I'm going to talk more about information and communication technology, this subject. For all those students who are going to choose this elective subject in the DSE public examination, you could learn more about, ask yourself about, um, do you suitable to study in this subject? So now first you can ask yourself three questions. One, are you interested in IT? And what is your ability that you can fulfill the basic requirement, the basic skills or basics uh, attitude in learning IT this subject? And also what is the prospect about this subject? All right. So first of all, maybe we look into the your interests first. Okay, so now are you interested in IT? For example, do you like to make some computer, combine all the computer by yourself? You could buy a different component in the computer and then combine it by yourself and make a very powerful computer. And you may interest in it. And second, uh, do you want to play some programming or some TV game as here? And third is, do you very good in the programming language? Next is, do you interest in the network and interest in the networking and also the software that you always use in IT? You think that it is quite useful in using IT, you want to learn more about this. You are interested in learning some new software, and last, maybe you are interested in some new technology such as sensor, IoT, AI, big data, something like this. So, if any one of this you are interested in it, then you could ask yourself second questions, which is that the ability that you are learning this subject. So before asking, before you asking yourself, maybe you could uh, know more about the syllabus and the framework of IT first. So in the assessment framework, in the public examination in DSC, there are two parts. One is compulsory, another one is elective part. The first one costs you 55% for 2 hours examination, including two paper. One is MC, so it is quite very good for the student who not very good in writing. Then you still have some chance to get high grade because we have the IT have the um, MC questions. And also the rest part is 60 marks for the non-questions in the compulsory part. And there is another part is elective. Elective part is just changing this year, starting from this year. But the percentage is not changed, is still keeping in 25%. And this subject during these 3 years, you should finish one school-based assessment. Recall, always call this one is the SBA, cost you 20%. All right. So what included in the compulsory parts in Chapter A, information processing, you could learn more about what is the binary system and also some technique for processing some information. And Unit B, for all those interested in the combining different components of computer to make a very powerful computer, then this chapter is very good for you. And the third unit, which is networking, internet, and its application. Lots of content in this chapter because nowadays we always use the network. Without network, you do nothing. So unit D, which is quite important because in the coming syllabus, is lots of time we spend into this unit because nowadays we should learn more and train more about your computational thinking and programming. And last unit in compulsory part, which is a social implication, it affecting how the IT things that affecting our life. We're all talking about in this chapter. Okay, so next part is the elective parts. Elective parts including database if you want to organize or organizing data, and also you want to develop some program. You should store lots of information by using database software. And Unit B, we will talk more about the web application development. So it actually, you could learning some how to develop a program specifically in the web programming. So if you want to make a app with web app for yourself to use it to helping you in daily life, then you could learn from this chapter. And the last unit, Unit C, which is a algorithm and programming. So in this chapter, in this unit, you could use more your brain, think more about the program and the logic. It's quite challenging and quite interesting in this part if you like it. All right. So and finally, we will have the school-based assessment, as I said before. School-based assessment. So after you know the content, the framework, and you stop a moment that you think about what is your ability yourself, is that you are not very good in writing some answering the question always miss some marks, then you could try to use the MC helping you in this subject. If you are very good in new technology, even you didn't learn from the textbook, you didn't learn from the teacher, but you learn from daily life, you have very rich of the knowledge about the IT, then you have the ability to study this subject. And then the last things you may interest in it is your prospect after you study IT, ICT this subject, and what subject that I could choose in JUPAS. In this table, you could see lots of university, including Hong Kong U, UST, and all the university include lots of subject, Bachelor of Science, and something like electronics, double E, electrical electronics, computing in Poly U. Lots of program is opened that is related to the ICT subject, and it means that it is quite important. If you have this subject study in the secondary school, and you could choose lots of subject or program in the university that you may get higher chance compared with the others didn't study in this subject. So you could focus in some of the program. For example, in UST, some of our student has studies to go into the business and management, global business. It's all related in IT, right? So now, IT related GPs at here. Maybe I just take some example. For example, Hong Kong U, Bachelor of Business Administration needs you. You can see the requirement to enter this subject, this program. The following one of the elective subject level 3, one of them. Not only for IT, ICT, but also the biology, chemistry, combined science. But if you have both study in at least two subjects study in secondary school, you get high chance to get into this subject, right? So same as the other university you can see on this slide. And after that, maybe after you know the prospect, you can find the more information from Jupiter's website, official websites, but I'm not going to talk more about at here because I want you to directly take something before you filling the elective form to choose which one is the first choice, which one is the second choice. I want you to know about in our school got you a program, publish a program that is called TASTE program. In this program, for the IT subject, you can choose Chinese and English to study, but now this video is talk more about in the English version. So the key features of this TASTE program, we are always focusing on the programming because you can see the framework in the coming 3 years is quite a lot. So before you go to you are going to select this subject as an elective subject, I want you to know more about your ability about the programming skills. Okay, in this program, there are three sections. One, which is the basic concept about the computer computer language and some concept about this. For example, you should identify the constant and versus the variable. Two different it is two different things about this concept. Okay, so the next one is, when we organizing and manipulating some data, there are some data types. You should identify what data types you are going to use or you are using, right? And also we should have a lot of choice to organize in the to use in the programming language. For example, the operators, the function, and some statement. For example, if then else. It is one of typical statement that we always use in the programming language when we making a new program, right? So, and second part of this program, you can learn more about the loops. For example, the while loop, do loop, or for loop. What is a loop? Actually, lots of repeating code that you don't want to waste too much time to write down one line by line, and it is quite time consuming when you're doing some coding. So now you can learn some special technique, for example, the loops, then helping you to computing the repeating sentence statement, and it is very very important for you to know about this. And the final one, which is you learn more about how to use the array or flowchart diagram or studio code that is very important before you do any coding. And also in the designing phase, it's quite useful for you to do this. All right. So for more details, after you select and to join this program, then you will know more about this. So the video, I just stop it here and wish you know more about what is this subject to be the content of this subject.